How do you want your June to feel this year? Personally, I want a joyful June. Hello, and welcome back to Cozy with Chelsea, a podcast to nourish your mind, body, and soul. My name is Chelsea because I am your host. And today I want to talk about how to have the coziest June ever. So let's get into it. I posted this on my Substack a few days ago, and it was created in a morning of joy. I was having a joyous morning and I was feeling really good. And to be really honest with you, sometimes when I feel really good or I have moments of like peace, tranquility, happiness, sometimes an underlying feeling will slip in of fear, anxiety, dread that moment is going to go away. And I know why this happens to me based on my history, my past, my experiences, and it doesn't take me into a spiral like it did before. I can kind of have more of just like a noticing going on and realize, okay, that's an old pattern that's resurfacing, but I am allowed to feel happy. I'm allowed to have moments of peace and moments of tranquility. And I was inspired by that feeling to post on my Substack something to the effect of, your life is allowed to feel good, your life is allowed to feel calm, your life is allowed to feel exciting, your life is allowed to feel full without feeling overwhelming. And it resonated with a lot of people because that note did really well. And I just think it's interesting, and I think it's very common for a lot of people to have that dreadful feeling during moments of pure joy. And it's kind of unfortunate, but of course it's based on usually trauma or even just experiences we've had in the past, kind of like that waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I want you to know that your life is allowed to feel good and you are allowed to feel joy and just purely feel joy. So my theme for June is joy because I know that I'm allowed to have it. My life is allowed to be filled with joy. And not only is it allowed to be that way, but I'm going to pursue it and cultivate it and nurture it. So that does not have to be your theme for June. You could pick your own theme for June, but mine is joy. And we're going to talk about how to have a joyous, cozy June. So what does a cozy, joyous June look like? Oh, well, that's a great question. I actually used to detest summer, and that is because I grew up in the desert and it was 110 degrees and there wasn't much to do. However, my mindset has changed on this and I've actually come to really love and enjoy summer. The key is finding what cozy things you can do during summer and ruthlessly pursue those things. Now, there are all different summers. You guys live in all different areas. You might be lucky enough to have one of those beautiful summers where you can go outside and do all the things. For me personally, what I have come to love is being in water. That is very helpful when it's 110 degrees out. And I have realized that summer nights where I live, even though it could be 100 degrees, it's a dry heat, and at nighttime, it's actually quite cozy. So my advice to you would be, based on where you live and what your summer is like, identify what those cozy activities are. I'm going to name a few that might resonate with you, and you might come up with your own. And if you do come up with your own, please comment them because I would love to know what everyone is doing for their cozy summer. Personally, for me, the first one is being near water. Now, we don't have a lot of water in the desert. However, we have a lot of man-made pools, and those are great. So finding a pool, is there a pool in your community that you could go to? Do you have a friend with a pool? We also have a man-made lake. So we go to the lake. If you're lucky enough to have a river or a beach or a real lake, then please go to those bodies of water, if anything, so that I can live vicariously through you. And then obviously just time outside, right? So yes, spending time outside. Yes, spending time in nature. However, can we incorporate play and pleasure? Because that is what's keeping me cozy. We were doing chalk art in the backyard. We were setting up like a tent in the backyard. If it is reading outside, writing in your journal outside, whatever that looks like, some cornhole, I don't know. There's a bunch of things you can do outside, but how can we fill them with play and pleasure so that you get some rest and so that you can refill your cup this summer? Also, cozy is always food, right? So during summer, I like to have fresh seasonal produce. For example, I'm going to a backyard pool barbecue situation today. I will be making a watermelon salad. So it's going to be watermelon, cucumber, mint, red onion, a couple other things. And then I'm also doing a quinoa, lemony, herby side. I'm a side dish girl. So whatever you can find in your local area. We had some fresh cherries. I don't know. It's just the time. It's the time for fresh, light, nourishing, delicious, seasonal produce. Have a picnic. There, we can combine all of those things. We're outside. We're eating fresh produce. We're having fun and playing. And maybe you could have a picnic near some water. Okay, so just some quick ideas. There's plenty of things you can do. Again, comment. Please let me know what you're doing. And then for events for this summer. So last year, actually, I'm coming up on almost a year that I've had this podcast, so that's pretty exciting. In the beginning, I remember one of my first episodes was about the summer solstice, and I go through the history of it and how to celebrate it. So I will link that episode in this episode's show notes if you want to go more in depth. But we are having the summer solstice come up. When is the summer solstice? Okay, the summer solstice this year is on June 21st. It's the longest day of the year, right? It's the most sun. It's very yang energy or yang energy, depending on how you pronounce that. The reason I'm talking about the summer solstice is because it's a great way to celebrate summer and have like a cozy, initiation into summer, even though I'm already in summer. Maybe not all of you are. So listen to my podcast. I go through all the ways to celebrate. Hint, a lot of them are things I already mentioned, which is food and time outside, but also making like sun water. There's a bunch of things you can do. So check it out. And then we also have some moon events. So actually, I'll be releasing this episode in a few days, and there will be a full moon technically before June. It's on May 31st. So it's on the last day of the month. And that is the blue moon. So we have the blue moon on May 31st. We have a new moon on June 15th, and then a full moon again on the last day of the month, which is June 30th. So also some opportunities here to incorporate some cozy and also some new moon and full moon rituals. We can make those cozy, right? So for the full moon coming up on May 31st, what I typically do on a full moon is have kind of like a release ritual. So you guys could do that. And what is cozier than a fire during the summer? Let's just write down some stuff we're releasing and throw it into that fire. And then make some s'mores after. So that is a way that you could celebrate the full moons. And then the new moon typically is when I'm calling in. So for that June 15th new moon, we can, instead of burning what we're releasing, write down what we're bringing in. So those are my cozy summer events, is the summer solstice and also the moon cycles. So my question to you is, what can you do to really make your June as cozy as possible? Can you get outside? Can you meditate outside? Can you go pick some flowers, make a fresh flower arrangement? Can you read something summer themed? I love a good summer romance. There's so many options here for reading. Can you swim in your nearest form of water? Can you eat fresh produce? And also a side of s'mores. So that is what I have for today. It's really just a reminder to live in tune with the seasons, right? How can you work with summer energy? What can we incorporate to make it cozy, even if it's very hot where you live? And how can you allow your life to feel good? We are going to feel good this June. Okay, and as always, what is making me cozy this week? You know what I will say? I have been working outside. It's not too hot yet where I can't work outside. This is actually like the time where I've been bringing my laptop outside, which of course, is not as good as, being fully present in nature, but I have to work. So working outside is kind of like a nice middle ground where I can hear the birds and I can hear the leaves of the trees and the wind, and I'm still typing on my computer and working, but it's been really great to do it that way. And yeah, that's my version of like slowing down while still being productive, and that is making me cozy. Well, I hope that you have a joyous, cozy June, and I will talk to you all next week. Stay cozy. Bye.